think I got to a point where I kind of realised that I need to start sort of unpicking some of this stuff that I've done and try and balance that kind of stuff up. Have you ever seen that TV programme, My Name is Earl? And he's a guy, he wins, and he's like a right scumbag, and he's just an awful guy, like criminal and this, that and the other. And he wins like £100,000 on a scratch card, walks out the shop and gets hit by a bus. And then has this like sort of moment where he realises, oh, it's all about karma. So he's got this like long list of horrible things he's done, and then goes around making amends to people to try and balance things up. And kind of that's how it kind of felt like my life was at one point, because I think when you've lived that sort of life, and I think if I'm being brutally honest, it wasn't me. Like I say, although when I was growing up, that's all I wanted to be. My first career choice, I wanted to be a nurse, but then from about once I started to sell drugs, especially 16, 17 onwards, and I realised I had an aptitude for it and I was making good money, I just kind of jumped into that. But I kind of realised at one point that it wasn't what I want. Like I said, once I got myself clean and everything like that, it was kind of I'm a product of my environment is what I'm trying to say, really. And that like I say, I kind of realised that in a different space, a different area, I could use my natural skills and drives and everything that I've got. And it sounds really, again, I always sort of say to people, it sounds really big-headed, but I'm going to say it in any case. I was kind of I always kind of felt like I was destined for greatness. It sounds really egotistical, and it is, but I just kind of knew, like I say, I looked at all the kids that was in my school, and even the kids that were brighter than me that went on to do doctors and medicine, law and all that sort of stuff. But just, in terms of like gumption and sort of street smarts and what have you, I just knew I was like smarter than the average bear, do you know what I mean? And that I could do. So like I said, when I was living in Manchester, it felt like my options were limited to crime and to offending, really, to get a leg on. But then kind of sort of being here in Bangor, I kind of just I could look around and think, oh, do you know what? I could actually do something here. I can shine in another way without having to sort of put myself at risk of going into prison for 10 or 12 years or something. So, but just like I say, just felt almost like compelled to try and right some wrongs. And I think that's kind of like I say, I mean, after I got clean, I worked as a chef and again, rose up very quickly through that and kind of, I ended up running some big kitchens and I was earning really, really good money at the time and etc. But it just bored me shitless. And I just had no, the thought of doing it for like another 30 odd years until I retired. So, terrified me. And plus I looked at all the old chefs and they were all, they're all piss-heads druggies and with a string of failed managers behind them, and I just thought, well, I've already come out of addiction issues once. If I stay in this for another 30 years, I'm going to get him again. And it's true. I mean, that's one thing I've found out since I've come into doing this line of work. The rates of addiction among chefs, it's huge because it's such a stressful environment. But you're surrounded by alcohol all the time. So the first thing you do when you finish a shift after the busy ones, go out and sit in a bar, drink a pint and go, that's nice. And there's your link then between alcohol and stress relief.